So, it's the end of yet another week, and here on this channel, that means one thing and one thing only. Every weekend I post an episode of this series we do called Your Take Not Mine, where I turn to you, the viewers, to give me your hottest NBA takes of the week based on what's going on at the time, and I then choose my favorite submissions and discuss them in a video. This week, there has been a ton of huge matchups that went down where some of the top teams battled it out to assert their dominance. We had exciting drama unfold on the court, sparking new rivalries, and rumors have continued to swirl, so we definitely have plenty to discuss. In order to submit your takes, I make a community post on either the day of or the day before the video, similar to the one that you see on your screen now, so if you want a chance to be featured in a future episode, be sure to stay on the lookout for that. Before we start though, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Jack, and he says that Zion Williamson is an MVP candidate and probably deserves more attention for it. The career arc of Zion Williamson is so baffling to me, because as someone who has followed his journey since his high school days, he's had the cameras on him for a very long time now. He was heralded as one of the best prospects the league had ever seen. He dominated league coverage and headlines throughout his time in college and early on in his NBA career. People were seemingly talking about him non-stop at the time. Then over the last year or so, it has felt like all of the hype has completely died. Obviously, the fact that he has struggled mightily with injuries over this period of time has played a part in it, but that doesn't explain how he went from someone the league was advertising as the next face of the NBA to a complete afterthought. When he was drafted, the NBA was giving the Pelicans more nationally televised games than legitimate contenders, because Zion was must-see TV. His combination of size, explosive athleticism, skill around the basket, and mobility was a big-ticket draw for fans from all over, but the injuries killed off a lot of that hype, to the point where he's been back on the court playing some amazing basketball this season, and I haven't heard a peep about him or his team's performances from national media outlets until 2 nights ago. The Pelicans are in first place in the Western Conference standings right now, playing some great basketball, and to solidify that spot in the standings, they beat the Phoenix Suns in a game capped off by a Zion Williamson 360 windmill dunk, and that's what it took to get some attention their way. On the season, Zion is averaging about 25 points per game, shooting the ball 60% from the field, and over his last 8 games, those numbers have risen to 28 points per game and 67% from the field. So he's getting better and better as the season goes on, and he's a big reason why the Pelicans are sitting at the top of the West standings right now. He's absolutely been doing everything that an MVP candidate should be doing, going back to the original take here, and I am completely on board with that idea. A healthy Zion Williamson is an absolute force, and I think it's about time for us to get back to giving him the attention that he deserves, because on top of all of this, he's an electrifying talent that makes the game incredibly fun to watch. The next take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Juice, and he says that James Wiseman, like Bol, would shine in a new environment if he were to be traded. The emergence of Bol in Orlando has definitely changed a lot of people's perspectives on players who aren't contributing as much as expected early on in their careers. The narrative surrounding Bol during his time in Denver was that he wasn't necessarily a hard worker, he was too slow to play regular minutes in a rotation, and his play style was more of a gimmick. But he's silenced all of those skeptics this season by becoming a productive starting center in the NBA, providing efficient play on both ends of the floor. The difference between Bol and James Wiseman, though, is that Bol never got a single real opportunity to show what he could do on the court while on the Nuggets. A large majority of the minutes that he got came in garbage time during a blowout, and the small handful of times that he did get subbed in to play real competitive minutes came during a game where he would end up playing decently, but then by the next game he would be benched again, so he never got extended stretches to get a rhythm. The same cannot be said about Wiseman. Wiseman was drafted 2nd overall, so he came into the league with much different expectations, and he was an immediate part of the team's rotation from day one as a rookie. He had opportunities that Bol never had, and in those opportunities, like most rookies, he was pretty inconsistent. Last season was an unfortunate detriment to Wiseman's development because injuries held him out of the whole year, but this year he came back healthy again and was getting more consistent opportunities off the bench, only for him to once again struggle defensively and give the team inconsistent showings. The Warriors are now sending him down to the G League so he can work through some of his struggles with a bigger workload, and admittedly he has looked good in the G League down there, but the competition in the G League, especially for big men, does not compare to the level of the NBA, and the physicality of big men down there definitely doesn't compare to the big men in the NBA now. I obviously believe Wiseman is a very talented young player, but the mental side of the game is what he needs to hone in on, and referring back to the original take, I don't think his situation is anything like Bull's. And finally, the last take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Elix, and he basically says that the Pacers should actually stop looking to trade Myles Turner because of the fact that he's not only having the best year of his career, but he's also vital to the team's surprising success, plus he's not even much older than the rest of their young core. The Indiana Pacers entered this season expected by most for good reason, to be tanking at the bottom of the standings. Buddy Hield and Myles Turner have heard their names in trade rumors for months because of this, but so far no deals have come about for either of them. However, clearly the Pacers had other ideas, because right now they're in 6th place in the Eastern Conference standings, playing better than a lot of other playoff hopefuls expected to be contending this season. Tyrese Haliburton is playing like not only one of the best young guards in the league, but one of the best guards period. Bennedict Mathurin is not only a Rookie of the Year candidate, but one of the best 6th men in the league at the moment. A few hidden gems have emerged throughout their rotation, and of course, Myles Turner has in fact been playing the best basketball of his career on both ends. He's anchoring their defense, blocking shots like he always does, but he's also scoring a career high in points while also shooting a career best both from the field and from three, and that's very much linked to his connection with Tyrese Haliburton. I understand Turner might want to play for a contending team, but he's been in trade rumors for years now, and no team has coughed up an offer at his price tag. The Pacers are clearly not as far away from being good as a team as we originally thought, and as was stated in the original take, Turner is still only 26, so it's not like the clock is ticking on his career. Haliburton and Mathurin could be terrific franchise cornerstones, and Turner may not find a better long-term situation than that. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the takes we discussed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.